open. Finish your mission to find out what's inside. Delivered another life support capsule. The raid is off to a successful start.
Hey, Trigger.
Tedo, prepare for life support.
And yes, I am back to stream.
Additional life support has arrived.
I'm actually okay. I had moved to Alabama, actually, and yeah, I had moved to Alabama, didn't have fast internet in Alabama, but now I'm back home getting some upgrades, and we'll have a professional microphone tomorrow, but I wanted to see if stuff will work tonight. So I'm actually doing pretty okay. Overall. Just overall. I also just realized my face tracking is off, which I finally got all that sorted, and I don't even have it turned on for this game. Nice.
I've delivered another life support capsule.
I see, Churchu. Should I boost... Should I boost my voice or quiet the game? Because I can do either. I mean, generally, I'd think it'd be... Okay, quiet
Finish
the
your
game.
mission and we'll take a look inside.
I was just gonna say, it probably makes more sense to do one or the other.
Tenno, prepare for life support.
Let's see if that's better.
Another life support capsule is now available.
To be fair, I should have double-checked the microphone volume and all that before, but I'm just using the halfway decent headset I have, just kind of lying around. Tomorrow, starting tomorrow, I picked up this really nice professional microphone due to the Amazon Prime Day sale. And so that'll actually, or that should be extremely nice when that comes in tomorrow. And yeah, I understand about stuff potentially getting drowned out. It was more of a question of whether it was simply the game audio being too loud in general, or whether my voice was too quiet in general. Because the difference is, between the two, you just... obviously, it's different stuff to fix each thing. Also, I finally got... So, if not obvious to anybody out there, I finally got Valkyr Prime. And I had been waiting for that for a while. But I finally got the parts and built and all that. And it works really well. Well, at least I think it does. Alright, well, tomorrow I'll be able, or since the microphone's arriving tomorrow, I'll just reevaluate all of that then. It shouldn't be too quiet. It shouldn't be too quiet, but you never quite know with the mixing stuff on this. It might just simply need a boost on the hardware side, which probably not worth fussing too much about right now. Yeah, this is Valkyr Prime at the moment that I'm using. And keep in mind, I'm not even really using her abilities that much. It's just the high armor, high energy, quick thinking, that kind of stuff. I can actually stay alive versus level 100 enemies for quite a long time, I've noticed. Especially when you factor in the stealth from focus. Fair enough, True 2. I mean, quite a few people play this game, but a lot of people don't. Some people like to watch it more than play it. But for the somewhat uninitiated, my setup is Valkyr, which is a tough, tanky female frame that generally goes into hysteria and melees everybody to death. But instead I've got her set up as kind of a passive tank, which means she doesn't actually require her abilities to stay alive. Or even energy to really stay alive, most of the time. And I have an Orthos Prime equipped, which is an extremely long-range melee weapon, as you can see, and I just kind of blend everything by slide attacking with primed reach. So, pretty much if I attack, just everything dies. And that's not even counting that this stuff is low level. It works just as effectively versus high level. Or nearly as effectively, depending on what you're facing. I have one set up for corrosive and one set up for gas to deal with Grenier and Corpus, respectively. And then you combine that with this focus school, and you also get stealth whenever you crit. Which is ridiculous. I think this build is fun because I can essentially move. I can attack, or I can use the slide attack faster, slightly faster than I can move on my own. So, compared to everything else, I'm not even getting slowed down. Supposedly Volt could do it a bit better, but Volt can't tank. Whereas Valkyr can get pretty crazy amount of armor on that. Obviously works pretty well with the Necros that specializes in Despoil because it chops everybody into little pieces. And then each piece rolls separately for loot, still, I think. Unless they changed that in the last month or two. I just enabled the face tracking. It might work. Maybe. I haven't quite optimized stuff yet. And yeah, Rhino's pretty strong. Well, technically I am a fox with red hair, so it might work. I can't quite tell what it's doing, but whatever. Funny enough, I actually noticed with this build, even though attack speed multiplies from a lot of different sources pretty much indefinitely, as long as you can keep finding new things to stack, I found that it's pretty much impossible to attack fast enough on Valkyr anyway, if you get your attack speed above a certain value. So then going for more damage just straight out wrecks things. Or movement speed or whatever.
All share this bounty. Hold out as long as you can.
Yeah, with a regular melee attack, it can get essentially too difficult to oh right, 25 minutes already. But yeah, if you can potentially be your attack speed can be so fast that that you can't click fast enough for it to register the clicks as actual attacks. So even if you're spamming it like crazy, or the slide attacks like crazy rather. For normal attacks, it seems like the sky's the limit, but for the slide attacks, it seems like you run into a point where you physically can't attack faster. And yeah, for that mission was a survival. So I had to survive and pick up the reactants, but got rewarded nicely for it. It was that one, the Stickney Phobos mission currently. I generally prefer doing endless missions for Void Fissures to get a lot of relics, a lot of nice, interesting things to sell or whatever. Actually,
I see you.
I've been kind of avoiding doing sorties, not counting that I didn't really have internet for a few weeks there, but but I was kind of avoiding doing the sorties recently because of Spy. Spy missions suck. I mean, you can do them, but they still suck. Oh well, I guess I'll do a rescue anyway.
This is a rescue mission. We need to find
Well, that wasn't nice to disconnect host, but... But, even though this is the lower level sortie, I'll still be able to... Or I should be able to show you what the deal is with being able to attack. Or rather strongly, rather, with Valkyr. To be fair, you can run into problems, especially if it's not the correct energy type, but...
The enemy is on high alert. The moment you enter the holding area, they'll be able to execution sequence. Rescue the hostage before it finishes.
I survived that by having the quick thinking mod, True. It allows me to use energy as a health buffer.
Subject found. Capture for safety. Protect them at all costs.
And that kind of highlights the other use, is that even when stuff hits the fan, I can always switch to Hysteria and claw through entire waves of enemies if I want. But I'll show my equip screen in a second. But you can see I more or less have a ridiculous amount of energy, a ton of armor. I can pretty much stop anything but a one-hit kill as long as I have enough energy, which is easy to get. And I haven't put enough form into this because otherwise I'd have form on pretty much every slot and be able to fit an entire another mod in there, as well as start with more energy. Hey, Moonski! And yes, Valkyr is amazing again. I think so, anyway.
sanctuary target here, Hunter. I sense it. Track it with the synthesis scanner. Don't let it escape.
Target console is nearby. If you trigger the alarms now, the enemy will start destroying data. You've triggered the alarms. Lose this data, and the mission will be a complete failure. Target spotted. Stay sharp. This one is a handful. The alarms. Lose this data, and the mission will be a complete failure. You have everything you came for. Get to extraction. Mission complete. Excellent work, Tenno.
And yeah, the new energy drain sucks. That's why my build revolves around actually staying alive, period. It's all about staying alive efficiently, even in the presence of energy drains. And then if I happen to be able to activate Hysteria, I can still smack stuff decently hard. Not amazingly so, but least I get insane range on stuff. And really high attack speed. The high attack speed is pretty nice. On this build, I do not use Eternal War. I believe that's because my duration, I think, overall is relatively low enough that it makes no sense. I may as well just recap. Especially since then I get a pretty wicked slow as well. And of course a pop-up just completely killed my control. In general, this build, as far as I'm concerned, is really great for just mass clearing. And medic duty in general. And I even, because I'm mostly using the slide attack exclusively. Ooh, hello. Sorry, because I'm using the slide attack in general, that mostly means I'm actually able to use the quick melee instead of normal melee, which prevents blocking, but allows me to keep using, as you can see, my bow, the Raktasurnos, which allows me to get fairly frequent energy restores as teammates kill things. So it's able to be a really good phase tank even when you have several energy drainers on you, because they can only drain at a certain rate maximum. And it's very hard to get killed with quick thinking. Very, very hard. And this build actually does work in very high levels with the... What's the name of that hammer? The Jack Kitag hammer with the augment that makes it deal percentage of maximum health. It actually works great with that, but for general use, up to like level 200 or something, the Orthos Prime generally works better. And part of the reason for that is crits and stealth. Because being able to spam 80k attacks on stuff because you're technically in stealth is pretty useful. Being invisible in general is useful. And the attack rate is so ridiculous. Again, I can mostly attack, do the spin attacks faster than I can move, and faster than I can bullet jump and roll and all that normally. So for clearing stuff, as far as I'm concerned, there's rarely stuff that's better than this, because you're not really slowing down, even compared to bullet jumping. And yet the range on the Orthos Prime is just absurd. I'm actually going to take a couple of minutes, just a couple of minutes of break right about here. Have to take some trash out, but I'll be back in 4 or 5 minutes tops. Alright. Alright, and I'm back. Well, at least that got my sortie clear. Oops, I've been capped on new loca. Of course I have. Oh right, the Orthos build. It's actually fairly slow for an Orthos build, but with Valkyr and Berserker, I can afford the Spoiled Strike. Despite it only getting the 21% status chance, I can attack so fast and in such a wide radius in general that it's still stripping armor or putting down gas in the secondary configuration so quickly that I haven't had any issue annihilating stuff in general. I'm sure there's something I could do better here, but I just haven't really had any particular reason to. It's pretty much just the bare minimum to just attack really and with a really ridiculous range.
We offer these to aid you, Tenno.
I mean, keep in mind it's not perfect. There's a bunch of stuff where it'll take a while to kill, but you'll still generally be able to survive. It favors survival over doing perfect amounts of damage or being able to clear an entire crowd of really highly resistant stuff. But it can still survive in general, and it can still, unless it's, you know, 20 nullifiers or something, it can still drop into hysteria to annihilate whatever. Or optionally, it can simply use the Jat Katag instead of the Orthos Prime, but for most stuff, the Orthos Prime is certainly very nice. But I did originally make this build with the Jat Katag with the mod on it, and I'll show that. And that works well with this kind of setup. The Vulcan Blitz. And yeah, you can keep killing something around level 9,000 enemies with Vulcan Blitz if you do this right. And I think that's supposed to be gas, but I'm not 100% sure. But I did test this up pretty high up, but it's eclipsed for the normal level content with the Orthos Prime, which has the faster attack, higher crit, and longer, I think longer reach. Not 100% sure. But certainly a much faster attack. Yeah, if I had a Galatine Prime, I might be using that. But this was pretty much just a build for spam spin attack. The rest of the attacks, what stance is on it, doesn't matter in the slightest to me. Because it's just spin to win, pretty much. And Orthos is known to have one of the fastest spin attack animations besides. And one of the longest reaches on the spin attack. You know, so even though controlling it manually is a bit of a pain in the ass, it works ridiculously well, for me, anyway. And being able to carry somebody through content just by having a Valkyr with an Orthos Prime, it's pretty funny, actually. Because you can spin and be killing enemies within like 20 meters of you with melee attacks faster than most frames and people piloting them can actually move in general. So that's always a plus. But let me just get an off-ramp.
Cleanse the unclean.
We stand behind you.
Sure, I'll show the Valkyr build
These
again.
are a bargain, just for you.
And keep in mind that part of this is stuff I learned and part of it's stuff I found online a while ago and just modified the heck out of. Screw it, I'll go for the slightly ugly back accessory. But to be fair, I don't think I've seen any actual build posted online that kind of screws with stuff in the way I do, which is to make Valkyr just so bulletproof and then so quick and ridiculously ranged that you can just stay alive and kill stuff in general, nearly no matter what. I don't think I've died under any normal circumstances since I've started using this, but unfortunately at the time I was unable to stream it since I was in rural Alabama. And this build actually was originally on the normal Valkyr, with a couple forma. This was the original build, which I think is a bit better. Yeah, this one is what it was on the original Valkyr. It's actually better for several reasons, including higher duration and higher strength, but sacrifices efficiency and doesn't need range. Or wait, is that even the correct one? I don't think that's the correct one. Hold on. No, it's this one. It's this one, which is about the same, but sacrifices duration to get 160% efficiency, so it can actually spam rip lines, spam paralysis, and gets extremely efficient war cries. You know, it's not perfect by any means, but it sure worked well on the original Valkyr, and so I just haven't put a forma or two on the Prime yet. And yeah, sure Moonski, if you want to link your Valkyr, go ahead. And yeah, I do care very much. You've been around forever, and I can't believe anybody's actually bothering to watch right now, but I see the duration. Oh, duration, Eternal War. Yeah. And yeah, that one, or that Valkyr has a ton of health. That's what I was originally going for back when they made these changes, but I kind of discovered that having the quick, or you have quick thinking too, but what I personally found was that with just how stuff is set up, as long as I'm in motion, and especially once I get my focus procced off, I'm then invisible basically all the time. If I'm really mobbed by stuff that's actually threatening to kill me, I'm invisible all the time. I'm still slide attacking, so I'm dodging out of the way of stuff unintentionally. And, you know, it's just too much fun. Actually, I should double check to make sure I didn't unequip or do something else stupid while I was showing stuff. So because of that, I actually found that I didn't, or I needed the other stuff more than I needed the health in particular. Just because the armor, because I have like 1550 armor or something, so the amount of armor you get plus the damage reduction from quick thinking means that it's extremely unlikely to die in general. And if I really wanted a giant health pool, I'd simply be on Inaros anyway. I kind of want to do a variant with Inaros, but that might be fun, but I just haven't gotten around to it yet, really, because this turned out so much more effective. Oh yeah, I think I was gonna equip that on there. Are you getting one shot just kind of in general or on versus certain enemies? Because the one case that'll trip me up on this build is specifically when the disruptor, if the disruptor itself gets a melee attack on me and can figure out where I am, it can sap me of energy and then just simply kill me. But as long as it can't actually touch me or try to, then pretty much no matter how much energy stuff is draining, and as long as the rest of the squad is semi-alive, in general, I'm getting so much energy from stuff that I can still do war cries fairly frequently. And can still break into hysteria if I get damaged. Honestly, I love the idea of permanent hysteria, obviously, since it was one of the things that drew me to Valkyr in the first damn place, but the fact that it can be shut entirely by a nullifier, or let alone multiple nullifiers, is why I stopped, or why I started leaning away from that. And then nowadays, I simply don't need abilities to be wrecking through everything, which is pretty fun. to not need the abilities. And to be the only one on average in the map that's completely fearless of the nullifiers and similar effects.
Your job is to distract the enemy while a fellow Tenno operative raids the ship for much-needed supplies. Make your presence known.
And yeah, I do remember all the Warcry builds and all that. And I know Warcry is still top dog. Mine can do either Hysteria or Warcry, but focuses on just not actually needing anything that can be dispelled or messed with in general. And yeah, almost English. I almost Englished too, so don't feel bad there.
Life support has been cut off. They're trying to choke you out. Hold on. I'm sending auxiliary life support. I delivered a life support capsule to the area. Activating it will buy you more time.
Also, obviously I should not be using corrosive. But I forgot to check what enemy type. To be fair, maybe I could use the Jadkatag with more attack speed mods.
I've delivered another life support capsule.
To be fair, you don't even really need that much in the way of damage mods if you can use paralysis on like the first guy and finish him. That's pretty much what I was doing for a while, actually. But it's hard to argue with the sheer speed and mobility of the Orthos Prime. still.
Another life support capsule is now available. Extraction is ready. Operator has just made the first discovery. Keep up the good work. Get ready for a capsule. I've delivered another life support capsule.
That's strange. Oh, I just noticed I have transcoding on this stream. Hmm. Hey, Renflaw. And yeah, long time no see.
On the way.
I wasn't really even able to watch other streams while I went to move to Alabama. And, you know, didn't quite work out like I had planned. Like, there was supposed to be fast internet. There was not fast internet.
Additional life support has arrived. That's it. We've opened the relic. Finish your mission and we'll take a look inside.
But keep in mind, I have no idea whatsoever how the stream actually looks at the moment. It's one of the few times where I'm not really monitoring it back in real time. I should be, probably. I'm pretty okay now. I was just pretty much wanting to test before a microphone arrives tomorrow. During the Amazon Prime Day sale, I got a pretty nice professional grade microphone for $13. It sold out in like 10 minutes, so I was pretty happy to get. But hopefully that should alleviate some of the issues that had been in place that people were concerned about voice quality or volume or stuff like that. Hopefully. But I'm really looking forward to the microphone, which will have more uses than just streaming, but it should sound amazing for streaming. might be bad that I miss a cat right now, actually. An Alabama cat. Well, it's good to be back, Renclaw. It really is. Hmm. I wonder if I could get into a raid with the Valkyr of Doom. Probably not. Oh, right, I can at least do some of these quest things.
Why have we come to Lua? Have you located the next fragment? Recalibrating. Oh yes, you are correct. My records indicate that a fragment was previously discovered in the vicinity. Will you find it? Lua, why did we come here? I have asked you this already. Samaris was right. This corruption is not benign. I am vanishing.
Oh, coincidentally, the Valkyr build that I'm using is actually pretty ridiculously good for clearing out
Sentience. But how did they know? What? He's just an old war memory. Get out! I won't let you
containers and missions where that's useful.
children. Tenno, you have to...
Like for sabotage cache finding, the range is so high that, yeah, it matters a lot.
The hydraulics! Stop them! They want to...
Silence the anthem. Silence the Warframe whose malign pitch can cross the gap itself.
Yes, I am back, Geopirate. I am back. from Alabama, nonetheless. Wait, is stupid sentient a oxymoron? Maybe not.
The last fragment. Ordis, tell your operator. I am sorry. I am so sorry. I keep forgetting for...
Huh, I was in Huntsville, and one of those small little offshoot communities for about 8 months. But yeah, for the moment, I'm staying right where I am back in Oregon. And am getting all the normal luxuries that everybody else is kind of used to. A chair, a desk, that kind of thing.
The sentient has infiltrated Suda's mind. We must isolate and destroy her immediately.
As I mentioned before, I actually am getting a professional microphone that I got for like $13 is arriving tomorrow. And so I was just wanting to make sure that stuff actually worked. And apparently it does. Although CPU usage is a lot higher than I would prefer.
Sever the weave and avoid this corruption ourselves. That is our only choice. Pity. Another null settle on.
Join me, you puerile damage. My body.
We must
Deny them this energy. Do not let them coordinate as they did so long ago.
Ordis, I remember.
Nothing. Now I will reach across the wave and claim you, one who is called Ordis.
Hooray, crystals.
I see you. Does your child puppet know of your true nature? Madame Carol, the beast of the waters.
Such a beautiful song.
Sorry for the quietness on this. I have Ordis muted for obvious reasons. They should probably make it skip for story, though, but... Yeah, for some reason, I muted him too. Moonski. Just for some reason. For some reason.
Where is your Cephalon, Hunter? What has he done? Cephalons can manifest an alternate reality of information. Training simulations, archives, even a grandiose archival of living creatures is possible, as is the case with Sanctuary. You are not going after Ordis, are you? You'd be risking annihilation with that sentient entangled there. Hanhao's too strong. I will not risk myself and my Sanctuary by entering the Suda's datascape. But if you are foolish enough, I will help you make the journey for Ordis. Fine, Hunter, as you wish. I will join you to the Weave and transmit you and the Manticore to whatever has become of Suda Hanhao. You will be on your own in a strange, abstract place. Goodbye.
They're a little too fond of Lotus, for obvious reasons.
Another insect drawn to my light. And you brought your trite music with you, Tenno.
Operator? No! Go back! Save yourself! Operator, this is insane, but I think you need to play Octavia's anthem! Careful where you touch, Operator! You'll add the wrong notes to the anthem!
My rules. Your Tenno anthem dies here, and with it your infantile consciousness.
Oh yay, puzzles. And it's a puzzle that's trying to kill me, of course.
Is that music?
Do you remember, Tenno? The beat of the Naga drum?
Oh yeah, did you guys see the presentation, though? With the whole MMO area, custom weapons,
It reminds me of
that kind of stuff? Because suddenly, looking at this place, I'm reminded of that. Oh great, now there are sentients trying to kill me in this place. Well, if it makes you feel any better, Moonski, most of the people I know are pretty skeptical that D can pull it off. But I'm a bit cautiously optimistic, I suppose.
Clarity error. I know this song. Who am I?
Wow. Yeah, this is starting to get more tedious than fun. Oh.
The Naga drum sounded so elusive, unknown, coordinating the slaughter of your masters across the gap. Did you earn their reward, or merely set the stage for the next?
Soulless machine, you can't hold me. My dream, it's come true. I have joined my operator in battle.
Oh dear lord.
There's too many of them.
Pathetic Cephalon. I destroyed this data mine, and now I will destroy you.
He's too strong. My beloved operator. Why?
Beasts of Sanctuary, join me.
This quest is making me start to feel like Qbert.
encoded notes are ruining the anthem! Get rid of them!
You cannot! I control.
I am Suda. Time sync error. Curious. Why are we here presently? Why do I hear music?
You engaged your critical restore precept. There may be temporary gaps in your short-term data.
A sentient tried to erase you.
A sentient? How did I survive? Did you assist me, Samaris?
Of course not. You are a frivolous cephalon with no value to my sanctuary.
Samaris.
It may seem to Ordis that I had a loyalty glitch, but that is only his interpretation. I was acting to protect the wheel, of course.
Of course. Still, I am grateful to have benefited from your glitches. Let me share my archives with you. As for you, Tenno, you are most likely interested in the rest of the Manticore records. In Octavia.
Station ahead. Doors are locked. Time to break in. Located the hostage. Escort the prisoner to the extraction point, and I'll take care of the rest. Escort mission complete. The hostage is safe now. Let's get out of here.
Honestly, I don't think I got any codes from scanning at all, ever. So that's finally building. And then I guess I need another 10 to actually make one. Screw that. I see. Yeah, I just use the alerts. I know that's terrible, but I never bothered with the hammer. To be fair, that was before I could use the before I figured out you could use the attack, before you could spin to win on Valkyr.
Another dead Tenno.
New alert marked on navigation, Tenno.
I keep forgetting that most people like picking up the syndicate tokens. And yeah, I should re-level Valkyr Prime a couple of times. But I can't really remember what I'd been doing as far as leveling, to be honest. Nowadays, that is. You know, I would absolutely go gaga leveling in the old, I forget what it was even called now, because it's been a while since they nerfed it. But can you imagine bringing the Blender Valkyr in there and just it makes me miss that one. Yeah, Draco, that's it. But yeah, can you imagine bringing this just Room Blender in there? That would be fun. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I loved leveling just stuff in general, and I kept going through format at a crazy rate with Draco. But I still didn't get, you know, I still didn't take advantage of it anywhere near what literally anybody else did. I think I only got 5-6 things total leveled before they actually nerfed it, because I expected it would just be around forever. Nah, I straight out blame DE for that one, because they knew it was there, and they probably should have either taken it away sooner, or just let it be, or just rework stuff so that people who are actually just leveling stuff could kind of be left alone with it, instead of nerfing people who are leveling frames and stuff to kind of spite focus earners. Because in general, D has a habit of over-nerfing stuff. That's what left Valkyr feeling so neglected for so long. But then they changed how a couple of the things work, and then it felt, or what I'm doing feels pretty nice with how the nerfs affected things, because it's even more effective than the old Hysteria stuff. At least if you're actually farming. If you're just wanting to do one-shot assassinations, of course it can't do that, but that's what Nova with a Soma is for, right?
lost. Tower online.
I derped. I should have brought Ember to this one. There's literally no reason not to. Except, of course, that I derped, so I wasn't even thinking clearly about it. I'm still trying to get Mesa. I think I have a couple of keys saved, but...
The enemy have captured a tower. Tower online.
But I haven't been playing Warframe much for the last month, maybe 2, because of stuff that was going on in Alabama.
We have control of all 4 towers. The enemy have taken the tower. We must be captured. We have lost control of the tower. This tower is ours now.
The boss fight for me is actually easy. I just bring... I think it's... Yeah, I think it's Loki, and then a bow. And just stealth headshots will, in some cases, one-shot him, but in most cases will 2 or 3 shot.
Keep fighting.
It ends up being a really fast fight when done that way. Night, True, and A. Come back soon. And it's good to have high-speed internet again, mostly, but I'm glad to be streaming as well. I'm glad somebody out there actually wants me to be streaming. Apparently there are a couple of you.
We are dominating. Keep it up.
But yeah, I definitely wanted Mesa. I just haven't been able to get... I think it's the... Whatever the really rare piece is, just has refused to drop for me. Or am I watching maggots? That's weird. I was just thinking those look like just infested little Easter bunnies or something. And I was wondering what the hell is even going on. Because don't those look like oh, that's the other guy. I didn't even realize somebody spawned in. Okay. That explains it.
I have detected
I swear though,
capture and
they just look like little infested Easter bunnies to me. Is that how they normally look? That would be... maybe I'm just looking at it weird. That could be.
You have captured a radio tower. We are in total control. Keep fighting. The enemy taken a tower. You must recapture it. We have successfully decoded the message. Clear the area. Good work today. Not only have we decoded the enemy transmissions, we have also disrupted their communications.
Anyhow, the tracking stop. Anyhow, I think that's about it for me, even though it's been less than 3 hours or so, but busy day tomorrow, and I still have I don't quite know what I'm gonna stream tomorrow. Kinda want to do Overwatch, but I don't know. I really don't know. Anyway, I'll see everybody later. I think that's about it. As much Warframe as I can stand right now, and it's getting pretty just overheated tonight, so I'll see y'all sometime, but should be tomorrow. So, night all.